Dr. Jadi is the chair of the Computer Science and Computer Engineering at the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville. Dr. D received a BS and MS degrees from Tsinghua University in China in 1997 and 2000, respectively. He completed his PhD in electrical engineering at the University of Central Florida in 2004. He joined the Computer Science and Computer Engineering department at the University of Arkansas as an assistant professor in the fall of 2004, where he is now the department head and Roger S. Pine chair. His research area is asynchronous integrated circuit design and hardware security. His Trustable Logic Circuit Design Lab has been sponsored by various federal agencies and industries for over $23 million in the past 16 years. Dr. D has published 2 books and over 120 papers on technical journals and conferences. He also has 6 U.S. patents. Dr. E is a senior member of the IEEE and an eminent member of the Tau Beta Pi, and elected member of the National Academy of Inventors. I have also seen his patents. He has nicely framed patents for chips on the wall in his office. He is a real guy. With no further ado, I guess, I'll let Dr. Dye share his screen and talk to us about the program.
Thanks, Eugene. Well, good morning, everyone. I see some familiar faces. Thank you. All right, like Eugene said, I joined the department back in 2004. It's been 17 years now. It's my 18th year. I did not have any gray hair back then, but now I have a bunch. I took over as a department head this January, so I haven't really completed my first full year as a department head yet. But so far so good. I'm still alive in one piece, so can't really complain. So I'm here to introduce to you about the status of our department and the need we have with the growth in the student population and the change in the computing world. So I just want to tell you how I feel in the department and see if AOC can help us with it and how we can work better together. Next, please. Okay, so this is the department status. So right now we have 22 faculty in the department, 21 full-time, including 20 tenure track professors and 1 teaching assistant professor. She is our own PhD graduate. So the teaching track is fairly new in the university. So you have a teaching track and a research track. So they're not tenured, but so they can focus on their thing. For example, this specific professor, the main duty is teaching and advising students. It's highly valuable to the department, given our very high student to faculty ratio. And we also have a half-time instructor, and who will hopefully become full-time next year, so further help us teach those lower level classes. And some of the classes are over 200 students. So we had to split the section and things like that. But instructors and teaching assistant professors really help us. So we also have 7 full-time staff members. So this is increased from 5 what we had before. So this is great, but it's still far from enough. All these staff members, they're wonderful. They love students, so they love their job. They're working toward their maximum capacity right now. So we offer Bachelor of Science, Master of Science, and PhD in both computer science and computer engineering. We also offer a BA degree in computer science, which is we have a fairly high enrollment in that program as well. And as for the specific certificate and concentration, so we have a cybersecurity graduate certificate. And for the undergraduate, we are in the process of obtaining a cybersecurity undergraduate concentration for both computer science and computer engineering. So all the paperwork have been submitted. So it's in the approval chain right now. So we hope to be able to offer this before next fall. Next, please. From the student side, so just in case you didn't know, for the College of Engineering, the old freshmen, they don't declare their major. They're put together so into a so-called freshman engineering program. So they pretty much take the same classes in their first year. and got very closely mentored and helped by freshman engineering staff. And then in spring, late spring, they will announce which major they want to go to, computer science, mechanical engineering, or whatever. So in this spring, in the past spring, so there are 152 those students declared either computer science or computer engineering major, which is the largest group among the college. And we are the largest department among the college for the past several years already. So as you can see for the current numbers, we have over 700 students in total in the department. We have way more computer science students, undergrad, than computer engineering, which is actually a national trend right now. But no matter what, it's the best time to learn computing right now. And apparently those high school kids already know about it. Then we also grow our graduate program. We have close to 100 graduate students in there as well. And we have two commencement in the university every year, one in May and one in December. So back in May, there were like 118 students graduated from our department. And for the upcoming December, there are about 70 applied for graduation. So in total, we are graduating somewhere around 200 students a year. And on the research side, so far in this year, we have 34 new research projects funded by different sponsors within the, so for the faculty within the department. So it's a very good number. And we have three major research strengths in the department. One is cybersecurity, the second is data analytics, and third one is AI. So for each of these, we have multiple faculty with expertise and active research projects. So they teach related classes and also offer research opportunities for graduate and undergrad students. Next, please. Okay, we also started some new programs and initiatives. Earlier this year, it was the first time for us to offer online classes through the College of Engineering MSc program, which is for full-time workers to get an advanced degree from online. So as the first batch, we offer 3 cybersecurity related classes. So we work with MSc program and also the global campus program to make sure the course materials meet their standard to have online. So for the first 2, already offered in this semester, and the last one will be offered in spring. So it's a good start, and it's gonna, like say, advertising our program and also bring some tuition and revenue into the department. And earlier this year, was in March, we hired a new staff, Sarah, who's our media specialist. So before then, we were the only department in the college who did not have any social media presence. So she went, after she came in, and she created our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages. So please feel free to, I think my slides are gone. Okay, please feel free to follow us. And so we will post what is happening in the department. And so that's great. She also sent out emails to thousands of our alumni and advertising our social media sites, asking them to follow and communicate with us. So things have been going well. And so any help from AAOC about these things will be wonderful. Next, please. Okay, now I'm gonna present some of the challenges we see in the department, and just talk to you guys and see what you can advise us. The first one is the in-classroom education for students. Like I mentioned earlier, we have about over 700 students, but we don't only have like a 21 faculty. So if you calculate it, the student to faculty ratio is greater than 30. So give you a ballpark number. Other departments in the college, they normally have this ratio below 18. So some are 12, some are 15, some are 18, but we are like over 30. So that ratio basically means we cannot really attend to every single student in classroom. Like I said, some of our classes are over 200, and even our senior classes are easily over 100. For example, our capstone capstone 1 class right now is over 100 students in there. That's supposed to be their last class. So we did try. So we're trying to split those huge classes into smaller sections. But if we do that, that basically means we'll need to have more than one faculty to teach that single class, but we don't have a whole lot of faculty. So they're just like, there's this problems, right? And also we're offering most of our required courses in every semester. So if a student miss one round of required class, he or she will not need to wait for another whole year before they can take the same class. So this will help them in terms of 4-year graduation or 6-year graduation. But again, if you want to do that, then you will have to have the faculty body to actually teach those classes. So what we really need is actually not really the tenure track faculty. It'll be nice to have those, but they're more expensive and they're up to the state line and all that. So so we feel what we really need, they're actually full-time instructors. So a full-time instructor supposed to teach 4 courses each semester. That's gonna help us a lot. And they actually a lot of times do a better job teaching those courses than those faculty doing research. So then the other faculty will be able to offer more tech electives or graduate level courses to broaden our students' knowledge base. And they can also mentor students in their club activities. For example, we have Cyberhawks right now focusing on cybersecurity, but we can have more student clubs that focusing on AI, for example. But we don't have the capacity to do that. Faculty are too busy teaching our classes. So the first challenge is that we probably need more full-time instructors. Second, next please. Yeah, the second is about the student support. This is outside the classroom. So how do we better support students? Like I mentioned, we have 7 full-time staff members. It's a big boost from 5, but still our student to staff ratio is over 100. So a lot of times our students, especially those students from first generation college families, they really need mentoring. And so in addition to advising in terms of what classes to take, they also need mentoring and supporting to adapt to the college life. So, and also there are students that interested in certain areas and they want to have, like say, more hands-on skills and knowledge in a specific area, like AI, like cybersecurity, for example. So it'll be nice if we have those specific teaching labs just for those topics. So what we have been doing is, like I said earlier, our staff, they're great. So they're working at their maximum capacity, supporting those students. Without them, our department will be in trouble. We used to host an annual high school programming contest before the pandemic. So this is a great effort to bring high school students interested in computing over here and brag about our program, and so encourage them to apply to our department. And we also have one lab, we call that Prime Lab. So it's an acronym with 5 very long words. So that lab is specifically for capstone projects. In the lab, we have like a 3D printer, VR equipment, things like that. So when students choose a specific topic, capstone topic, they can use the lab equipment for their project. But we need more of that. So we feel what we need is we need more staff members, and also we need more teaching labs. So staff can help with student recruitment, and also they can help support and organize student activities like industry relation, alumni showcase, things like that. And then we need more teaching labs targeting specific technical areas. Next, please. Okay, next one is about student research and extracurricular execution. Research experience, which is great, it benefits both undergrad and graduate students. So undergraduate students, when they step into the research world, and it's gonna inspire them to learn more than what's in the textbooks. So that's just wonderful. And like I said earlier, the student clubs are also wonderful for them to learn a lot of hands-on skills. And also in the student clubs, a lot of times students teach each other. So that's even better. So what we have been doing is, our research activities have been increasing. Like I said, so far we already have 34 new projects funded this year, just for this year. And so we have more students involved in research. This is actually interesting because many of our classes need teaching assistants, TAs. Right now we are having trouble filling out all the TA positions because most of our graduate students are involved in research and hired by professors as research assistants. So, well, this is a good problem to have because that means our research activities have really gone up. So what we have been doing is we have been hiring seniors for those low-level classes to teach the programming foundation as the lab sessions. They're more than capable of doing that. So that's a good thing. Cyberhawk, I just talked about it. And we have our ACM chapter very active. They just finished their hackathon event sponsored by Walmart JB Hunt. So it's just wonderful. But we still need more faculty, talented, to mentor these students in terms of clubs and ACM and other technical events, hackathon, capture the flag, all those kind of things. Next, please. Okay, next one is about student success, really. So this is not about technical skills or knowledge. It's more about other things like soft skills and also resume and interview skills, things like that. So it's just better prepare them for their future career and make sure they can succeed. So they need to learn more than technical materials, as all of you are very well aware of that. So what we have been doing is we invite guest lecturers from industry come over, talk about their company, help students understand how business is supposed to run and how do you work in an environment with team, different skill sets, background, things like that. They do learn that in capstone classes, but it's still it's a one fixed group rather than what they're gonna face in their career. So we also start working with industry to improve courses at capstone. For example, this summer, we got over 20 capstone topics from industry and other organizations. So students right now already signed up for all of those and started working with the industry liaison for those topics. It's like a win-win situation for both students and the company. So it's great. And what we want is we really want more organized activities, collaborations with industry. Guest lectures is one idea. We can do the flipped classroom. We can drive students to company and have a lecture there. And the more capstone topics from you guys will be wonderful. Remember, our capstone is a two semester class. So student will select the product in the first semester and start putting together their plans, proposals like that. And then the hot core work will be in the second semester. And so all industry need is to assign someone as the liaison, work with the student, maybe like meet with them like once a week or once every 2 weeks, make sure they are on track. So on the IP side, let me just clarify, for capstone products, university does not own the IP. Students actually own the IP because they pay tuition for that. So any IP discussion is going to be between the company and the student. So far, we haven't had any issue. That just want to let everybody know. And if you can help students with mock interviews, polish their resume, that's highly appreciated. We actually did a survey for our current Capstone 1 students over 100 something students, and over 85%, they say that they'll love to have someone from industry to help them with these things. Next, please. I think that's probably, yeah, that's all, that's all I have. And so it's great to be here discussing our department with you guys. And thank you very much in advance for your support and help.
Thank you, Dr. D. Are there any questions?
Very, very impressive. A lot going on.
There is, isn't it?
Great leadership on your part, Doctor. Thank you.
Jerry?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll move on. Next up is Dr. Rajiv Sabherwal. I don't know. Distinguished Professor Edwin Karlee Bradberry, Endowed Chair and ISYS Department Chair, University of Arkansas at Fayetteville. He has published on the management, use, and impact of information technology and information systems research, MIS Quarterly Management Science, Organization Science, Journal of Management of Information Systems, and other journals. He has performed numerous editorial and conference leadership roles, including editor-in-chief for the IEEE Transactions and Engineering Management, conference co-chair for the International Conference on Information Systems, program co-chair for America's Conference on International Systems, Information Systems, pardon me. Senior editor for MIS Quarterly and Journal for AIS, and special edition editor for the Information System Research. He is a fellow of IEEE, and a fellow of the Association of Information Systems, PhD from the University of Pittsburgh. Dr. Sabherwal, I guess.
Thank you, Eugene. I appreciate your kind introduction. I do want to say, give a shout out to two individuals who I believe are here. I saw them earlier. Dr. David Douglas, who is a member of AAOC, and he's the one really on whose shoulders, on his footsteps I've followed. So I've been department chair since July 1st, 2011, and I followed Dr. Douglas, who was the department chair until then. He did a lot of great things, and a lot of the success that I'll talk about is because of him. He, of course, also hired me, so I'm grateful to him for doing that. The other person that I want to say thanks to is Dr. Susan Bristow, who's inducted into AAOC last October. She's a dear colleague and really makes the department run. She is also the assistant department chair, and I'm grateful to her as well. Next slide, please. Thank you. Just to provide a little bit of context to where the department is, the mission of the Walton College, in which the Information Systems Department is located, is as indicated on this slide. And the two words that I would like to highlight are data analytics. So they are part of the core mission of the Walton College, and we as a department play a huge role in that. Next slide, please. This is the strategic vision of the Information Systems Department. So our vision of being a top 5 information system department in the world with significant global impact is guided by our world-class enterprise systems, which drive our excellence in research, excellence in teaching, and excellence in industry connections. A lot of our accomplishments reflect this, and they also, what I would like to emphasize here are two parts: the world-class enterprise systems, for which we are grateful to a lot of our industry partners, including members of AAOC, and the other part is the excellence in teaching. We are excellent research as well, but for the excellence in teaching also, I'm grateful to the AAOC for their support over the years, which has allowed us to excel in that area. Next slide, please. So the department, our department is comparable, very similar to the computer science, computer engineering department. We currently have 20 full-time faculty. We are expected to grow to 24. We are a little bit different in the mix in that of the 20 full-time faculty that we currently have, we have a larger number of, we have 6 teaching faculty as compared to the one that computer science, computer engineering has. We are in the process of hiring 3 additional tenure track faculty, including a full professor. So we actually are hoping to be at 25 in fall 2022. We additionally have 4 instructors, 4 staff members. We've consistently excelled in student placement. So every year our placement rates have been at 100%, and our mean salary has consistently been among all the business school majors. We have consistently ranked in the top 5 in the world in research productivity based on publications in the top journals in the field, and we're very proud of that. We have 3 members of the university's teaching academy, 2 University of Arkansas distinguished professors, several winners of key awards across the world. I think a little bit of the slide seems to have gotten hidden, but the one part that I'm very proud of, which is kind of towards the bottom, is that 3 of our assistant professors, we have 5 assistant professors in the department, and 3 of them have won major accolades. 2 won the best dissertation awards in the entire field of information systems, and 1 received early career award last year. So we have some excellent faculty at the senior level. We also have some really fantastic junior faculty, and we have some really, really good teaching faculty as well. Next slide, please. We do not offer we do not have a lot of majors in terms of number of students, because our strategy has all along been to focus on quality, and we keep our class sizes low. We keep the quality of our courses very high, and some students find them difficult. But what we also do a lot is we have a very large number of minors, and students who are taking, and a large number of students take a couple of our courses. So we do play a major service role, not just for the Walton College, but for the entire campus. So, for example, one of our courses, undergraduate courses, is typically taken by about 4,000 students across the campus every year. So for that one, we of course have larger class sizes. But we also have a number of options for students, and what the words in parentheses indicate are for some of the programs that we started recently is when they started. So in fall 2019, we started a blockchain enterprise systems concentration, both at the undergraduate and graduate levels. We also started a blockchain enterprise systems interdisciplinary minor. And very recently, this fall, we started a data and cybersecurity management interdisciplinary minor, and also a certificate of proficiency in cybersecurity and data management for non-business students has been recently started as well. So we keep innovating, we keep adding new options for our students to serve them better. But as the slide indicates, our majors, we do have focus a lot on minors, both for information systems students as well as interdisciplinary minors. Next slide, please. So here we can see some of the graduate program offerings. We have a full-time and a professional Masters of Information Systems with a number of tracks for students to pursue. We also have Enterprise Systems graduate certificates, and we are planning some, you went too far. A couple of slides back, please. Hello?
Now we're...
Yeah, no, further back. Further back.
Are we there?
Not yet.
Okay, hold on.
I know you're working on it.
Breaths.
I think it jumped all the way to the end.
It closed it here.
Yes.
Yeah,
which one are we on, sir? Is this where we are? And
We can't see it.
We can't see, yeah.
Oh, it's hard to answer that question, isn't it?
Yeah. Little. There we go. Success.
Yeah, a couple of slides further back, please.
Back. That's the other direction.
Yeah, the one after this, graduate programs.
Okay, that's...
Yeah, thank you.
It jumped like nobody's business.
Yeah, it just kept going. Yes. So we are starting a cybersecurity data management graduate program in fall. We are also working on a master's of healthcare business analytics. Again, we have a lot of different offerings for our students, but like I said before, we do focus on selectivity. So we are very selective in admitting students. For example, at the graduate level for full-time students, every full-time student that we have receives in the full-time Masters in Information Systems receives a full scholarship with a complete tuition waiver and a stipend and so on. So what that does is it allows, and we are one of the few schools around the world, at least around in US, to do that. But we have 12 lines. So we get 12 very, very good full-time students every year into the program. Next slide, please. This slide also shows a little bit of what I was talking about. So if you look at the majors that we have, we are at 287 total majors, undergraduate and graduate. However, if we look at the student credit hours, we are at 10,000, right? And at 10,000 undergraduate, 1,100 masters. So what that reflects is what I was saying before, which is that we offer a lot of courses that students take as a part of a minor, an interdisciplinary minor. We offer courses, for example, to MBA students, executive MBA students. A number of students in accounting take our courses. So that's one of the I think that's one of the respects in which we differ from some of the other departments in the Walton College itself. What I would also like to highlight is if we look at the gender diversity overall in the last 10 years, we have done somewhat better. So we've gone up from 21% to 28% and now down to 24%. But with respect to ethnic diversity, we were at 45%, and we seem to have gone down some. So I would tremendously appreciate if the AAOC knows of any students, interested students who are ethnically or gender diverse, women, girls who would be interested in information systems, please direct them our way. We do want to increase diversity. We have a number of people in the department working on diversity-related efforts. So that's one of the areas where we would like to improve. Next slide, please. We have two major industry groups in the department. We have a blockchain center of excellence and an enterprise systems group. And the blockchain center of excellence has an executive advisory board and also has a number of other partners, both companies and communities. And enterprise systems has a board. The blockchain center of excellence is somewhat selective in terms of the executive advisory board. There's a significant annual membership. It's $25,000 a year. But in addition to that, every new member needs to be approved by a majority of the current members. So that and we try to keep the number of board members small. And again, here talking about Blockchain Center of Excellence, I'd like to give another shout out to Dr. Douglas, because he was really the one who got us started on this journey with the Blockchain Center of Excellence. Next slide, please. This slide just shows some of the industry-related events that we have done through Blockchain Center of Excellence and Enterprise Systems, and some of our major accomplishments as well. So receiving software, hardware that helps our students, and a lot of real data that helps our students that we have received through Enterprise Systems. Through Blockchain Center of Excellence, we do a conference every year, and we do a hackathon every year, and both of them have been very successful. Next slide, please. So in terms of the opportunities for IT, so Arkansas is 18th in the US in net increase of technology-related jobs, according to one website. We are seeing continuing growth in the presence of tech companies, especially startups, tech startups, and blockchain initiatives are key to that. Analytic programs are in demand at all levels across companies. And there's a significant increase in job growth related to cybersecurity as well. So I'm glad that both we in information systems and computer science, computer engineering are getting into cybersecurity from somewhat different perspectives, of course. Next slide, please. Here I'm just sharing some trends that we saw online. So Northwest Arkansas is becoming an increasing employer for IT jobs, again, tech startups. The Northwest Arkansas Council provides a lot of support for IT apprenticeships. And what we are also seeing is that there is a greater flexibility of students with respect to varying software platforms. Next slide, please. We are also seeing that students are diversifying their skill set. Many concentrate in one area, minor in another. We've seen people who are doing 2 minors. We are seeing people who are doing 2 majors. So therefore, we are bringing all these additional options to our students. There seems to be a growing gap between students, diversity in students in terms of tech savviness, with some of them being really, really good with technology, even when they join our undergraduate program, and some really lagging behind. We're also seeing a greater proportion of students who are seeking IT-related internships. And this is another area that AAOC can really help us in terms of providing internship opportunities for our students. Students are also becoming more entrepreneurial, and we are seeing greater interest, desire for self-employment, new ventures, and so on. Next slide, please. So what we have here are a few examples of the recipients of the AAOC scholarships over the years. So again, I'm grateful to AAOC for providing us these scholarships. And so we can see that the students you all have supported have been doing very, very well. We are proud of them. We are proud of all of our students, but we are especially proud of the effects the AAOC scholarships have had on our students in terms of their success over the years. So again, thank you all very much for that. Yeah, so just to recap, in terms of what we would like, the kind of things that AAOC can help us with, continued financial support for our students, student internships, mentorships for students, helping students with respect to job shadowing, guest speaking in our classes, as Dr. D said, also presentations. We also have executives in residence, which is a semester-long opportunity for an individual to be engaged in our courses, and that really helps. That's at the graduate level. We have a number of events at as some of which I showed, but in which AOC members can be involved, but they can also participate in networking events that we do. Participate as a panelist in Spring 2022 IT Executive Forum. So that's where we bring about 500 high school students from the area, and they get to attend a panel session with senior IT executives in the area, and they really find that beneficial. And we think it helps them decide on pursuing an IT career. And some of them may go into information systems, some of them may go into computer science, computer engineering, some of them may come to University of Arkansas, some may go elsewhere. But as long as we are getting a lot of people interested in the field, and especially a lot of diverse people, students interested in the field, I think it's a win for all of us. We also have specific initiatives related to women. So we have a Women in Blockchain initiative and a Women in IT conference that's scheduled for April 13th, 2022. Dr. Bristow and Aditya Karkara, who's also inducted into AOC and might be here. I'm not seeing all the participants at this point. They are going to be among the ones who present. And lastly, we have a very active and vibrant PhD program. We have 12 students in the program at any point in time. We do a great job in terms of placing them. They go into academic jobs, but we place all of them at very good schools. 100% placement success there into AACSB accredited schools. But they do significant research while they are PhD students, and any support partnering opportunities that AOC members would have with respect to helping our faculty and PhD students with their research. That would be fantastic as well. And my last slide is again, thank you very much to all of you, both for all your support over the years and for inviting me to present today. I apologize if I took too long.
No, you're great.
Thank you, Rajiv.
Yes. A great presentation. I learned a lot about ISYS. It's fantastic. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much. I guess we'll move on to Dr. Lawrence Whitman, Dean of the Donaghey College of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. Dr. Whitman earned his bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering design technology from Oklahoma State University, where he also earned his Master of Science in Industrial Engineering and Management. He then spent 10 years in the aerospace industry as a practicing engineer in Texas, where he earned his PE license. He joined the Automation and Robotic Research Institute of the University of Texas at Arlington, working with local aerospace industry on projects. He earned his PhD in industrial engineering at the University of Texas in Arlington. He then joined the Department of Industrial and Manufacturing Engineering at Wichita State University as an assistant professor in 1999, where he progressed through the ranks of associate professor and professor. He served as Associate Dean for Undergraduate Education at the College of Engineering at Wichita State University for 3 years. He's a professor of systems engineering at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. He received external funding through the National Science Foundation and from industry partners. Dr. Whitman's primary research areas are in lean systems, enterprise engineering, and enterprise education. Dr. Whitman has over 100 publications, which have been cited in over 850 times, and has served as a guest editor of Data Knowledge and Engineering Journal. He has also served as session chair at numerous conferences. He is currently chair of Technical Committee 5.3, Enterprise Integration and Network, International Federation of Automatic Control, on the board of directors of the Industrial Engineering Division of the American Society of Engineering Education. Wow. What a lettered guy, I tell you. Take it away, Dr. Whitman.
Thank you. To be fair, Eugene didn't ask for that. So a couple of those things I've rolled off my terms. So I'm not actively doing those things now. But good to see all of you. Good to have the discussion before the meeting started. I appreciate the opportunity to tell you about what we're doing here. I do want to start off with just a couple of, I can advance my slides. So I just want to set the frame. I've got just a couple of slides about the college. So just to remind you that, we started as Little Rock Junior College. We joined the University of Arkansas system in '69. Jerry and others on the call worked hard to get us an engineering college here. And in 1999, with Mary Good being the initial dean, we founded the EIT College, Engineering and Information Technology, added a nanotechnology building, IQ program, Institute for Chief Data Officers. And then what many of you probably don't know, partly why I'm going through this, is that during the middle of the pandemic in July of 2020, we went from 5 colleges to 3 on our campus. And so that means that there is no more EIT College. We are now the College of STEM. So we merged those disciplines with biology, chemistry, math, and physics. And so just to give you some numbers on these are college numbers. I'll go into the computer science, information science in just a minute, but we have over 100 faculty, 25 staff. We have 10 different departments. You've all toured the Emerging Analytics Center, the VR, AR there. You've been involved with the Institute for Chief Data Officers. There's our publications and active grants, et cetera there. Reminder that our computer science program here was the first one accredited in Arkansas. We have 1,500 students, over 1,500 students, 19 programs undergraduate-wise. We have 4 associate degree, 15 masters, more than 2 graduate certificates now, and 9 PhD programs, all in our own college, not university-wide. These are just college numbers. I did want to let you know that we do have a good breadth of graduate programs in the college. A lot of those are in the areas such as engineering and science that I think those on the call are least interested in, but we do have several graduate programs in computer science and information science. I want to note here at the bottom that we have the Doctor of Philosophy in Computer and Information Sciences, which has different tracks. And this program was started in 2010. It's between both computer science and information science. There's 3 tracks: a computer science track, an information science track, and an information quality track. And you can see that we have a lot of students enrolled in these programs. We have 134 just in this PhD program. You can see back in 2013, we only had 36. I believe the last time or time before last we presented in 2018, the last slide deck I had was 93 in 2018. So you can see this program is really growing. We are offering the information science and information quality 100% online. So we have many students from out of state that are already in industry that want to complete their degrees. The majority of students we have are not going the academic route in those tracks, particularly they're going the industry route. So that program is taken off. We do have a leadership council, which is the college-wide council. Jerry, James are on those. We appreciate that. We have wide representation. It's college-wide. We do have industry advisory councils for each of the departments. So I want to point out that here's an opportunity for AAOC members to get involved. We already have several of you involved. If you're interested in serving on either the college-wide committee, talk to me, or if you want to serve on an individual department committee, computer science, information science, or anyone else, let me know, and I can get you involved in those as well. A little bit of information about the students in our college. We pretty much have students from across the state. We have students from across many states in the country. And in the DC STEM College, we have many students from other countries as well, just to give you a feel for the demographics of our college. Additionally, the demographics of the college show that we're about 33% women, about a little bit less than 50% white on our ethnicity. And so if I switch that to just a computer science, information science enrollment, my question was about the enrollment in the college and university. We know it's gone down. It's gone down across most institutions across the country, but you can see that computer science and information science is holding its own. We're not growing yet, but we have some exciting things to tell you about that I think will show some growth in the future. The demographics of just computer science, information science undergraduates show that we're at about 27% female, and we're exactly 50%. This is live data, so it's obviously 50% on the money. They're kind of interesting of white students. Just to let you know where our students work. They work locally. A lot of our students stay locally. I think about 80% of our students are employed in the state, but you can see that we have students go across the country and across the world. So we have our students want to stay, but those that don't, or those that have other opportunities. Recently, we just had a couple of graduates go to LinkedIn and Facebook as well. I see that those aren't listed here. We do have several student-led organizations, both ACM and the cybersecurity clubs. They compete in high school, they compete in state and regional programming and cyber defense, as Wayne mentions, JOLT. They were involved in JOLT this last time as well. One of the questions I was asked is, what do today's students look like? And I think that both Jai and Rajiv mentioned this as well. So I'm a little bit repetitive. We'll see if there's any differences here, but I think it's somewhat, we can say it's a mixed bag. I think Rajiv commented on this, is that we're getting a lot of students that are very tech savvy. They're very good with what they know. However, some students are, we have computer science across the state or coding across the state. The teaching is highly variable of that, and we see some variability in education. The bad news is some of those students come to us thinking they know a lot of things, and they really don't know what they need to know. We're seeing a little bit of change, as was mentioned by the others, on what students expect is in terms of a completion certificate. I think many students still see the Bachelor of Science or the BA as is offered at UA as the gateway. That's kind of what their opening is. We're starting to do some things with stackable credentials to degrees. We got a cybersecurity grant. We're looking at that with some community colleges and high schools and University of Pine Bluff. But we're looking at stackable credentials to really help students out there. And so that's really what I mean by flexibility in education is key. As I said, our online graduate programs are exploding, such to the point that we're about ready to have to put a cap on those because we don't have the number of faculty to maintain that. One of the ideas we've kicked around is about working with you in AAOC and other places to work with these students as a project mentor to help us with the volume that is coming in. So that's something that I'd like to talk to anyone that might be interested about as well. And of course, the biggest problem for all of us, I think, is IT is changing faster than we in education can change. There's the goalposts continually be moving. We have some meetings we've set up with chief information security officers. We've had a couple of breakfasts with them. And it really is, things are changing so fast, it's hard for us to really know how we can provide things. That's why I think these stackable credentials will really help us. And I think, a lot of students really want it now. You saw some information on the A+ certification. I think that's really a good stepping stone. So if we can provide kind of steps for students throughout, I think that's the ticket for what we need to do to meet today's and tomorrow's students. I do want to announce that we did get approval, and we started our first official class of cybersecurity this fall. We have about 25 students in that. We are an NSA Center of Academic Excellence. I mentioned part of our growth there is students knew this was coming. So we had many students registered in computer science that have switched to cybersecurity as well. So we're hoping to get that through. We're looking towards accreditation for that program. All of our programs in our engineering and computer science and engineering technology are accredited. We're looking at getting that accredited. To do that, you have to have a graduate. So we're on track to get one of those in about 3 years. We did start the National Cyber Teaching Academy to provide certificates. I mentioned the unevenness of teachers. They're preparing high school teachers by using concurrent credit courses in cybersecurity. And then they also provide, because of trademarks, we have something now not called a cyber gym, not called a cyber range, but we call ours a cyber arena. And this is where they have workouts, where they go to the arena and work out and learn different things in cybersecurity. We're doing that very in an inexpensive approach where individual schools can use that. It's less than $1 per student, which is really a good cost feasible solution for many schools. And then we have over $1 million in annual cybersecurity research funding. What do I see as the biggest opportunity for our state? I was asked that question. I'm not trying to be bold. I was asked that question. So really my answer is, I think the ticket for us is really to provide a cybersecurity workforce in our state. I think really we have a lot of IT people across many different venues. I really think that's the key. And that's really what we're trying to do, is trying to hit it at the high school level, at the community college level, at the college level, and working with industry professionals to advance their knowledge in certificates and advanced degrees. I might mention, I think, as the others have mentioned as well, is that I really think more industry capstone projects are really a key thing that we should do a better job working together. A difficulty for us, I just want to make you aware, I see Elizabeth on the call, at least she was, and Vance, we've talked to them. Our problem is, the university works on a semester basis. And so industry doesn't work on a semester basis, and how we can work together to make capstone projects work at both the undergraduate and the graduate level, where they can get real world projects that can provide some value to your company, but that can also fit within the semester timeframe. That's one of the things we're trying to work on. I did want to give you a brief update on some of the research going on. Many of you have been on campus, seen our different areas of research. I wanted to let you know about a statewide effort. Well, first, I'll let you know you've all been to previously, many of you have been to the Emerging Analytics Center, where we have a cave, we have a table, a surgical table where they do virtual surgery, things like that. Here's a picture of a previous AAOC group at the cave. That's in the cave looking at that. One of the exciting things that's going on now is latest project with the Department of Homeland Security is they're not looking for metal guns now. They're looking for things. That pink up there, you probably can't read that text, but that's an apple. So we want to find things in people's luggage and recognize what it is. We want to find things at the docks. That's one of the other projects they have. How can we handle incoming supplies that are being transported by ship, and how can we move those into being transported across the country quicker? And they're using artificial intelligence to identify, you see an apple, you see a potato, you see different things. It even recognizes things like blood. So is there some article with blood in your what you're trying to bring into the country? Things like even Petri dishes. So these are things we're looking at using AI to help us learn better so we can do that quicker. I mentioned to you one thing I'd really like to make sure everyone here is aware of is the state had the governor had a blue ribbon commission about what we're supposed to do. And the EPSCoR latest project is called DART, which is data and analytics that are robust and trusted. And this is basically bringing together the experts, the best data scientists in the state to work together to try to solve some of the complex problems. And you can see the different areas listed there of cyber infrastructure, data lifecycle and curation, social awareness, social networks and media, and then learning and prediction. This gives you a feel for where they are. There are people at many institutions across the state involved. We're involved in 3 of those different areas that we talked about. I'm going to talk about those now. So data lifecycle and curation is one of the areas we're leading. Basically, you all are aware of this, about the difficulty of getting data and putting it in a format where it can be used. Dr. Talbert uses this term called data washing machine. So basically to clean and integrate the data prior to analysis, and then look at where it came from and what the content of the different data sets are. Some of the things they've done is they've worked with, how can we get this unsupervised data? How can we get it into systems where it's better? And we've generated out of that things that are useful for industry, as well as for us. It's a theme for a couple of doctoral dissertations, and some industry people. Pilog Group is already using some of the outcomes of that. You can see they're still doing a lot of things about trying to implement machine learning into the washing machine. So again, learning what we're doing on how we can better prepare that data so it can be useful for us. So a different project, but the same kind of thing, is really taking that. This is not a part of the DART project, but this is funded by the U.S. Census Bureau, which is really looking at how do we do those same washing machine techniques to try to improve how we get the name and address standards across the board. I mean, you heard John Chamberlain mention about doing genealogy research. If you do that, looking at what's written in old census records is almost a disaster to really understand what's going on. And I can see this really helping us of the spelling and how things are going on, as well as helping the quality of data that the Census Bureau has on households. Lots of different things going on there. You've also been previous AAOC meetings. We've hosted people in the social media research area with Dr. Nitin Agarwal. He's very well funded nationally. He's started to become recognized more in the state. We've talked before about how he's done social support in the autism community to provide interactions on that, as well as the Saudi Women Right to Drive campaign, looking at how that worked together. One of the newer things you may not be aware of is that he worked with the Arkansas Office of the Attorney General to develop information on COVID-19 misinformation and track some of that. And so, again, Jerry and the Arkansas Research Alliance, as well as the National Science Foundation and others, help support that research. But basically, to be notified of scams and have a common way of tracking that, and to assess what's going out there in the social media land, and try to make that so that we can identify those areas and better communicate to people what's going on and what's correct information and what's incorrect information. And then beyond that as well, it goes to things like bad actors out there on the internet looking for how to promote this disinformation. Dr. Agarwal down there at the bottom likes to promote this. They're really looking at how to make topics go viral rather than really be truthful. Virality over veracity. And so, out there in that landscape, there's just so much going on. There's I think he says there's 400 hours of YouTube video posted a minute. And so to track that and see all the disinformation that's going on, a lot of the anti-American sentiment that grows into terrorism. He's tracking all of that for the different research labs. And so what he's doing is he's using a multi-threaded approach methodology to put that all together and to develop a dashboard that is trying to be, that we're providing to the government to track what's going on, to tell them both, it tracks text, images, video, all different types that are on in social media. And that was my 20 minutes. So I'm sorry it was quick, but I'd be happy to answer any questions that any of you may have. And I do also want to express my thanks. Since I've been here 6 years, I've really appreciated the interaction with the AAOC community. You guys are great partners in terms of working with industry and definitely in terms of supporting our students. We're thankful for the scholarships and the engagement you all provide.
It was a fantastic presentation. I learned a few things that I didn't know.
That would be my intent there, Eugene.
You did very good. The virality versus, the veracity was pretty interesting. A nice catchphrase for, what Facebook's in trouble for right now.
Yeah, that's a Agarwalism, okay? So I don't want to take credit for that.
Right, but you passed it along to us.
Yes.
That was very nice. Any other questions?
I had just one quick one on that with the Facebook stuff. Do you know if the gentleman that came up with that phrase has done more research, or they're starting to, I'm assuming, in all the universities that were represented here today, I'm assuming looking into more of that around, like, one of the things that Facebook's in trouble for, right, is the fact that their stuff is based around whether it's, catching on versus is it really true? Is that what you were alluding to in some of the research he's done, or can you give us like a quick snippet on like some of the stuff that you're doing or that you know about at the university?
Right. So he is doing a little bit of that. Facebook is not as easily for him to gather information from. They're much more proprietary. He's done a lot more work with Twitter and YouTube. So he has done some with Facebook, but he's really more looking at the Twitterverse, as it were, to track that information. Even YouTube, the deep fakes about how they've gotten presidents, the amazingness of the deep fakes he showed some video that is just, making Nixon say things that obviously he didn't say because they didn't exist at the time, but people have become very proficient of that. And just to alert the powers that be of things that are going on, and especially the bad actor traffic. So a lot of what they're doing is they're looking at the traffic of what's being posted, and they're, obviously it's just like any other kind of bad actors. Is the smarter we become at tracking bad actors, the smarter they become at finding other ways to be bad actors. And so that's a lot of what he's done. I kind of give you a little answer to your question there.
Yeah, it does. It's very interesting times for sure.